Nobody knew what Gracie Jiu-Jitsu was. After all my father is done, my family is done in Brazil.
Imagine stepping into a cage with opponents twice your size, with no rules or safety measures to protect you. Sounds crazy, right? Well, for one family, this was a way of life. They sent their youngest and smallest brother to fight giants, and what happened next changed the world of MMA forever.
That Gracie is no joke, though. That family.
They changed the world.
The world.
So the Gracie family changed martial arts worldwide.
As the lights dimmed and the crowd roared, he stepped into the MMA cage, a fighter like no other. Against all odds, he was about to take on his opponent with no striking skills to speak of. Many would have turned away from the challenge, but not him. With a heart bigger than his stature, he was about to shock the world with a display of BJJ skills that no one saw coming. This is the story of UFC pioneer and legend, Royce Gracie.
There it is. There's and he's under. Now we're watching Royce take the mount position.
Chapter 1. His young age. Royce Gracie was born in 1966 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, is one of 9 sons of Jiu-Jitsu Grandmaster Helio Gracie. From a young age, Royce was taught the art of Jiu-Jitsu by his father. His brothers, Royler, Rickson, Helson, and Horion, were also all decorated BJJ fighters. Royce had his first competition at the age of 8 and was already teaching students by the time he was 14. He earned a blue belt at 16 years old and gained his black belt shortly before his 18th birthday. To help his brother, Horion's BJJ Academy in the United States, Royce decided to move to the US. Chapter 2. Gracie Challenge. After moving to the United States, the Gracie brothers continued the family's tradition of the Gracie Challenge, in which they would challenge anyone, regardless of rank or size, to fight to prove their jiu-jitsu techniques.
See, we had what they called the Gracie Challenge. People come into the school and we fight, and just to prove our technique is the best.
This challenge became a cornerstone for the brothers and was integral in popularizing Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the United States. The Gracie family is often credited with revolutionizing martial arts by demonstrating how smaller and weaker opponents can defend against bigger and stronger opponents using leverage, technique, and most importantly, strategy.
Once you have the confidence and you know what you can do, that you can defend yourself, not attack somebody, but defend yourself and not to lose to that person, it's you start looking at everybody a little different.
Chapter 3. UFC Was Born. In 1993, after the success of Gracie Challenge, Horion co-founded the Ultimate Fighting Championship. This was a no-rules competition featuring an 8-man open-weight single-elimination tournament.
No gloves, no time limit, no weight division, no rules. Yep.
The Gracies chose Royce as their representative in UFC 1, believing his small size and younger age would help showcase the effectiveness of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and give it the respect it deserves.
And if you put a smaller brother or cousin, he could have done the same thing, but it might have taken a little longer.
The stakes were high for Royce Gracie. Not only was he representing his family name, but he had to prove that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu could stand up against the most violent martial artists in the world. So, with determination, courage, and a traditional gi, he stepped into the ring to face off against his tough opponents.
Please welcome, out of the red corner, Royce Gracie!
Chapter 4. The Fights Nobody Expected. Royce Gracie began his UFC journey with a match against Art Jimerson. Jimerson shows up in the ring wearing one glove, thinking it will protect his hand from all the punching he was about to do. After a couple of minutes, Royce shoots for a double-leg football tackle and takes Jimerson to the ground. Royce is staying on top of Jimerson, and out of the blue, Jimerson taps on the floor, indicating he is done. Royce looks at the referee, not sure of what just happened. The referee stops the fight, and just like that, BJJ was born to the world.
He just tapped out.
Did he? Oh, the towel just got thrown in as well.
That's amazing.
His next opponent was Ken Shamrock in the semifinals of the tournament, whom he defeated in the opening minute via a rear naked choke.
Bill, that was a
I did not see the tap.
I saw it 4 times.
This marked the beginning of an intense rivalry between Royce and Shamrock. The final fight was against Gerard Gordeau, which he also won by submission.
That was just, listen, Royce is not letting him go. He wants to make sure the referee sees that this is over.
With 3 consecutive wins, Royce Gracie clinched the UFC One Championship title and was rewarded with a $50,000 prize. By doing so, he earned the distinction of being crowned the first Ultimate Fighting champion.
This is very important because, like they said,
Royce Gracie continued to compete in UFC 2, 3, 4, and 5. He won UFC 2, defeating Patrick Smith in the finals.
And then turn him over. He's taking a pounding. Yes, he is.
He was mounted on him and throwing punches to his face. Patrick tapped out, and his corner even threw the towel. UFC 3 was very hard for Royce. He had to withdraw due to exhaustion and dehydration.
Many people must be disappointed, but he's very disappointed himself.
Royce Gracie needed to come back in UFC 4. He fought brilliantly in the first rounds. His final match was against Pan American Freestyle Wrestling gold medalist Dan Severn, which lasted 15 minutes and 49 seconds until Royce emerged victorious thanks to a triangle choke submission.
That's it.
With this win, Royce held the record 3 times for winning the tournament. At UFC 5, Royce Gracie and Ken Shamrock squared off in the first ever super fight, which was for the title of UFC Super Fight champion. After 36 minutes, the match ended in a draw. However, many believe that Shamrock had won the fight, making it a controversial decision.
There's nothing he can do to finish Gracie off here. That's going to be it. That's going to be it. The fight's over.
Before we continue with the video, subscribe and comment "I subbed" and you'll be entered in our monthly shout-out giveaway. Let's keep going. Chapter 5, The Final Fight. For his final fight, Royce Gracie squared off against Ken Shamrock in a trilogy bout at Bellator 149. Royce took him down, stayed on top of him, and kept hitting his face with punches. The referee had to stop the fight. It was an impressive performance. He secured a triumphant victory, capping off an outstanding MMA career. Chapter 6, Following his father's footsteps. Royce Gracie is now dedicated to sharing his father's martial art with the world.
Man, I'm a product of my father's work. I did what I learned from him 20 years ago, helped the world find out about the art of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Through the Royce Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Network, he provides instruction in BJJ and gyms across the globe, striving to make the skill as widespread and accessible as possible. He carries on the legacy of Helio Gracie by passing on his knowledge and expertise.
Simply incredible. These folks are going wild.
Royce Gracie is a trailblazer in the MMA world. Having introduced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to the sport, he has fearlessly taken on heavyweight fighters and skilled opponents alike to prove his fighting style's worth, and his contributions have earned him a special place in the UFC Hall of Fame. Royce is an undisputed pioneer in the MMA community and will forever be remembered for his incredible feats.